know that only 2% of children in the UK can identify fake news?
Also, almost 2/3 of teachers believe fake news is harming children's well-being.
To find out more about this, we travelled up to London on the 13th of June to attend a presentation that addressed this matter.
The National Literacy Trust conducted the research to find out how fake news is being addressed in schools.
The presentation was held at the House of Commons, where we had the opportunity to listen to politicians and heard teachers' points of view on the subject.
We also were given the chance to conduct several interviews with key figures who attended the event.
One of which was Mariella Forster, a journalist for The Guardian.
Here's what she had to say.
Okay. I'm Isabel Tarr.
I'm Lucy Davis.
Isabel, Lucy. How do you do? I'm Mariella Frostrup.
Nice to meet you. We have a few questions today about your journalism. Our first question for you is, why did you choose a career in journalism?
Well, the boring answer, but maybe it's not too boring, is that my dad was a journalist, and so, sometimes you see someone doing something that you think is quite exciting. And I thought that his job looked really exciting because every day he was dealing with different things and no day was ever the same as the last. And because he was dealing with a news agenda, but he was the foreign editor, so he was looking at stories from all over the world, he never knew what day was going to be a big news day or a small news day. So it just seemed to me like a really interesting job and one where you were always learning new things. And, that's quite hard to get.
Were you part of a BBC school report team? What advice would you give young journalists like ourselves?
As part of that, who want to become journalists?
Yeah.
Well, I think it's really, really important, obviously, that you develop your literacy skills. Secondly, that you have confidence in your own opinions and your own judgments. Sometimes it's quite hard. People try and put you down. People make you feel unsure about what you're thinking. And you have to really build up your own confidence to support whatever it is that you think and you want to know about and you consider important. I think self-confidence is the most important thing.
What has been the best part of in your career so far?
Well, I've always loved books ever since I was very little, and about 17 years ago now, I got a phone call one day when I was in Switzerland asking me if I'd be a judge for the Booker Prize, and my father had loved books and he died when I was 15. And so again, it was a sort of moment where I suddenly thought that I left school very young. I didn't finish school. And so all of my learning has been self-taught, really. So the idea that they were asking me to judge this incredibly important global literary prize was just so exciting to me.
And the next interview was with two students from St. Michael's School who have been studying fake news closely and presented their thoughts to the audience at the House of Commons.
This is what they have found out.
How long have you been studying fake news?
Fake news, that's been since May the 9th.
Yeah, same.
What have you done in part of the fake news project?
On the 9th of May we went to Facebook and they went through the recommendations with us and we essentially gave our ideas and what we thought of it.
Yeah, we basically shaped the Children's Charter and changed some of it, which we thought was a very good idea. So basically gave young people's view on it.
What do you feel, out of everything you've done so far about fake news, has had the biggest effect?
I think the speech that we did today has the biggest effect because it's actually putting our voices out there and our experiences and having everybody listen to what we've got to say.
Yeah, I agree with that, but more because of confidence ideas more than anything else. More because the idea of speaking in front of a large group of people isn't easy, so it's a very nice accomplishment to be able to do it.
From this experience, what was your opinion you've gathered of fake news?
I feel like it's an issue that we can get on top of and that we can tackle because now the government's listen to us, they're going to implement things into schools and hopefully we'll be able to maybe not eradicate it but make it a lesser issue in society.
And I feel like it's a bigger issue than anyone really realised, and so now that this has happened, then hopefully we can start to combat it a bit more so that more change can be happened.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That's all right.
We also had the chance to interview Chris Elmore, the Ogmore MP, to find out if he's ever fallen into the trap of sharing fake news.
I'm Lucy Davis.
And I'm Chris Elmore, the MP for Ogmore.
How did you become involved with the National Literacy Trust?
Well, I became involved because I had an email to tell me that the two of you were here today. So that's how I've become involved in this, just to understand that you're doing this work and that you're trying to learn about how fake news is a good or bad thing and how you understand it. So it's because of you two. That's the short answer.
Did you have any previous knowledge of fake news before today?
So yeah, I did. I think being an MP means you get an awful lot of information sent to you by residents in the constituency saying, is this true, is that not true? People will read different blogs and sources on Facebook and Twitter and other things to say whether it's true or not. So I get lots of people saying to me, is this correct, is that correct? And quite often, more than not, it can often be fake news. So yeah, I do understand a lot about it.
So what do you think we as a nation could do to help fake news?
I think we have to challenge it, and we have to make sure people understand that these things aren't true and people will invent things, and so I think that's really, really important. I think the other thing is sort of try and get the correct news out there so that people understand the facts about something rather than always assuming that everything's negative and very depressing or sad. Actually say this is what's actually happening, so not always assuming that one type of news source is a good thing. So I think all those things can help try and challenge fake news.
Have you ever shared a fake news story?
Not that I'm aware. I mean, I'm going to caveat that I don't think I have. I genuinely don't think I have. I tend to share sort of what I think is reliable sources, like the BBC and other sort of major news agencies that I think are more accurate. I think sometimes that's harder with the written press. I don't think necessarily that our written press in the main pushes fake news, but what I mean is that sometimes it's up to interpretation about what you think of an issue and how you feel an issue goes about. But I truthfully don't think I ever have. But maybe you can have a look at my Facebook and my Twitter, and maybe I have. You should do a project on me. What have I shared? And maybe I'm wrong, but I don't think I have.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very
It was a fantastic day, and we enjoyed learning about how other schools are tackling this important issue.